when in reality, you're not preparing, you're avoiding uncomfortable feelings. Just go and do it. Get to that point and be like, okay, well, I need to make a fast, quick decision. Hi everyone, and welcome back to Forecasting Wellness. I'm Emmy, your host of this podcast, and welcome to an environment where we really focus and hone in on enjoying our life, enjoying wellness, trying to figure out how to live in wellness. And also, this podcast has a look into science behind the wellness, science behind life to help you grow. And as a meteorology enthusiast, I do like to have a lot of weather metaphors, a lot of weather ideas and symbols, and even potentially some meteorological science. If you watch podcast number 1, which was the science behind your friendships in your 20s and why weather matters. So we kind of have a deep dive into, like wellness, science, life, and everything in between. So if that sounds like your kind of gist, welcome. I am so happy that you are listening to this or watching this, because this is also on YouTube. I kind of like to post it on both YouTube and Spotify and just kind of share the content around. I have been on YouTube for about, oh my gosh, I can't even remember. What was it, like 2017? I think it was my year 10. Actually, 2018, sorry. Year 2017 was way too early. 2018, I have been on YouTube. I think I posted my first video then. So it has been a hot minute. I have taken a lot of hiatuses, and I've mentioned that before in my previous podcast. But regardless, this is episode 3. And in episode 3, we are getting into something really nitty-gritty, something really awesome that I had recently listened to an audiobook about. It is also a physical book. I need to remember what it was because I don't right now, but it was something to do with anxiety. I am a girly that struggles with anxiety, and so I thought, what better time to delve into that than episode number 3. And episode number 3 is called Analysis Paralysis. So analysis paralysis is actually something that a lot of people do deal with, even people who don't experience severe anxiety or medium anxiety. That's kind of weird for me to say, but yeah, like everyone experiences analysis paralysis on a day-to-day basis. Even people who barely experience anxiety, it is just a very common thing. I know my partner experiences this on like a daily basis, but he would say himself right now he's not very anxious. So it is something that I feel like it is awesome to delve into, to understand a bit more about yourself and a bit about life in general. I want to delve into something before we head into the podcast, just to get you guys to know a bit more about me, about life, about me, Emmy in general. I want to say one thing I am obsessed with this week in relation to wellness is warm water. I have my trusty Fran Green right here. Got a little Pooh Bear on it. It's really cute. I recently, for the past week, have been obsessed with it. I know it is heading out of winter. I should have hopped on this train wagon way before, but I like to boil hot water in my kettle, or if I'm at work, we have hot and cold water, like taps. I put about half my water bottle as boiling hot water and then the half as freezing cold. So it creates like a nice mixture that's not like lukewarm and yucky, but it's like still like I'm having tea, but it's not having tea. And I like having it plain in my water bottle. And then when I get home from work that day, or when it's hitting into like dinner time, I like to put a big slice of lemon in it as well. It is weird for me to say because a lot of people find lukewarm or warmish water very weird. But I swear it has helped my digestion immensely. It has helped my brain, it helps my stomach, it helps just in general. Like, I can't even explain it. It has helped me so much and I am obsessed with it. So that is my current wellness obsession of the week. So if you guys want to hop on the bandwagon, I definitely do recommend it. And if you're watching on YouTube right now, you just saw my cat run past. He might take the spotlight away from me a little bit in this podcast, in this video, because I'm filming in my bedroom and this is one of his favorite places to be. He might, annoy me a little bit, but let's hope he doesn't make that much noise. And he likes to attack me, so you might see that in the video. But yeah, the warm water is definitely my wellness obsession of the week. And in general, my week has been going along well. What have I been doing? I have been just living the motions, going to work, doing the stuff. On the weekend, I did something really cool, which was like a cafe hopping friend making experience, and it really broadened my horizons. I have been trying to get in my comfort zone a lot this year, especially since moving out of home in like a complete different area of where I live, and I don't really know anyone around here. So that was a very interesting experience. I'm definitely out of my comfort zone when I go to those friend making experiences, but it was kind of awesome. Like, we had this little passport, we went to 3 different cafes, got to draw with pens and like glitter pens and stuff like that, and I felt like such a little girl, but I felt so at peace while doing it. So that was really awesome. And the weather on Saturday pulled through. It was awesome. It was sunny, it was shining, it was all good vibes all around, which was absolutely amazing. Then Sunday I spent the day just chilling at home with my partner. It was horrific weather, which I'm someone who likes to jump out of bed even though it's horrible weather, but I don't like to leave the house when it's horrible weather, especially when it's windy. And Sunday, let me tell you, it was so windy. I looked outside, I was like, you won't catch me dead outside right now. And that's exactly what happened. No one caught me dead outside that day. That was my weekend, my week, just work week. And now I'm here sitting down in my room filming a podcast episode. I got this little microphone, but I don't know how to like attach it on my clothes so like the volume's good. So if the volume is like a bit weird, I'm still figuring it out. I haven't really used a microphone before. I just always counted on my trusty camera microphone. But yeah, here we are. Let's just get straight into it. Let's get into analysis paralysis. Analysis paralysis is something a lot of us have experienced on a day-to-day basis, and a lot of us do experience it on a day-to-day basis. It is the moment when you're staring at multiple choices at once. So let's say you are sitting at home and you have the choice of going out to get food. You have the choice of staying in to get food, let's say with your partner. And you are sitting there and he is sitting there or they are sitting there, and you are all just going back and forth of the choices. You are literally frozen in the spot on that couch. You're like, oh my gosh, we should go out. Like, we have seen that sushi place and we really want to try it. It looks amazing. Like, we've always pushed it off. Let's just do it. It won't be that expensive. And then you think about it for a second, then you look around and you're like, wait, no, like, we spent money on groceries this week. We've got like food in the fridge we have to use. Like, might as well just like stay at home and cook. And then you think about it a bit more and you're like, wait, no, I don't want to cook at home because that means I have to stand there for like 45 minutes plus cooking, and I'd rather just sit down and get the food straight away, or like sit down and get someone else to make the food. It's that back and forth of going between that option and that option and that option and that option and finding pros and cons. And you just keep going through it until it's like an hour later, and it's like an hour past when you're supposed to have dinner, and you're like, well, wait, now I have to go out and get takeaway because there is no way I'm going to make food in time before I want to go to bed. And you just feel like you've messed up your whole plan. That is the perfect example of analysis paralysis. And if you're listening to this and being like, I have dealt with that, yeah, you probably have. A lot of people who, especially people who experience anxiety, experience that on a more regular basis than other people, but it is a quite common thing for everyone to kind of experience. The reason why you do that is because you want the perfect plan. You want the perfect outcome and the perfect timing. In general, you just want perfection, but nothing moves forward without you making that choice. So today we're going to explore why you don't need the perfect plan, why it's okay to fail, and how to trust the forecast of your life and that the forecast can change. because sometimes meteorologists don't get it right. Grab a notebook, grab your ice matcha, put your headphones on, whatever you want to do, go on that hot girl walk, and let's dive into it. All right, so let's define it. Psychologists call analysis paralysis the overthinking that prevents action. You weigh out every outcome, predict every single consequence, and before you know it, you end up doing nothing at all. Here's a little fun fact. From Columbia University, research shows that when people are presented with more than 6 options, their likelihood of choosing anything drops drastically. So your brain literally shuts down when you're faced with way too many possibilities. Too much option and choice literally shuts our brain down, makes us go into a freeze state, and we just literally don't know what to do. So if you've ever wondered why you can't choose something so small as to like whether to eat out or to stay in and eat, or why you put something in your shopping cart online and you just left it, you're not broken, you're just human. But there are things that you can do to get yourself out of this analysis paralysis behavior. Analysis paralysis is a bit like dense fog on a highway. Fog isn't dangerous, but the road is there, the exit is there, you've got your phone up with the directions, you kind of know where you're going, but the visibility is way too low to drive confidently on this road. So you kind of pause. You kind of slow down in the car and you're like, wait, I need to take this safely. I need to like think my options. But standing still doesn't change the fact that the fog is there. Moving forward, even slowly, even slowing down on the highway, gets you somewhere. Pause for a moment. What decision have you been avoiding because you've been waiting for perfect clarity? If you have, think about it for a second, and I think it's the best thing for you to do to continue listening to this podcast, because I may have a few tips and tricks to get you through your analysis paralysis. Our brains crave certainty. Behavioral economists call this the planning fallacy. It's the tendency to underestimate the complexity of a situation and then overestimate our control of that situation. So even if you failed at predicting outcomes before, your brain tricks you into believing that next time you will be perfect, next time you'll be able to predict the outcome, and next time you're gonna know it all. When the reality actually hits, you're not gonna know it all, no one knows it all, and reality and the future is very much uncertain and unpredictable. Waiting for a perfect plan is not productive. Wanting a perfect plan feels productive, but it's actually a way to avoid discomfort. Scientists actually describe this as decision avoidance. It's procrastination dressed up as preparation of sorts. When in reality, you are not preparing, you're avoiding uncomfortable feelings. You're avoiding the uncomfortable feeling of making that decision and sticking by the decision. You are not 100% confident in your decisions, so you decide to go into analysis paralysis and not make a decision at all. And is that actually a good thing? Is that actually getting you anywhere? Or are you driving through that fog and deciding to pull over and just wait for the fog to go? When in reality, you could just drive slower, you could follow all these safety protocols and get yourself to that destination. Yeah, a little bit slower and a little bit later in time, but you still are getting there instead of being pulled on the side of the road. Have you ever spent hours researching or planning something and you still not acted? Girl, I can say that I have. For example, this podcast. So for the past 4 months, I would say I've been thriving with ideas for this podcast. I have been wanting to actually action it and do it and getting back into YouTube grind. Oh my gosh, my YouTube is literally a description of analysis paralysis. If you look back at my YouTube videos, I have been posting since 2018, like I said before, but so on and off. I was peak posting every week, every other week in like 2020 to 2021-ish, end of 2021. Then I fell off the bandwagon. I got other people's voices in my head. I got my own voice in my head. I was like, nah, just gonna end it here, just gonna cull it here, just gonna forget about it. I have other things going the way of my life instead of enjoying what I'm doing now. Yeah, YouTube was just like a little creative hustle for me and side hustle, but it was a creative way to like involve myself into creativity. It was a way where I could actually explore creativity instead of just academics all the time and boring work. I literally chose mundane, boring work over creativity and pushed that side of myself away because I was dealing with analysis paralysis. And then there was random spurs of energy where I'd be like, yep, I got creative bursts, I'll post 2 videos, now off. Have you ever spent hours like that? Have you ever done something like that, started a project, then actually never actioned on it? Yep, the podcast is literally it. But here I am, I pushed through that analysis paralysis, and let's get into like how to actually move past it now that we actually know what analysis paralysis is. The one thing that you can do to get yourself out of analysis paralysis is give yourself permission to fail. And I feel like a lot of people are gonna skip out of this podcast now because I just said something that is terrifying. Giving yourself permission to fail is a powerful thing. In neuroscience, there's evidence that the brain learns more effectively from trial and error rather than theoretical planning. This is why pilots, surgeons, and even meteorologists run simulations or controlled failures. It's because mistakes teach faster than perfect plans. I know someone who is going into, the air kind of field, and they're doing simulations like every day. And their simulators, like the people who teach them, actually force them to make errors. Then they sit them aside after the simulation run and go, okay, well, the way you reacted when this error happened, like you can't do that. Or the way you reacted when this error happened, that's great. Do that whenever that might happen in the future when you're actually on the field, actually doing the job. So they are actually taking this neuroscience evidence that trial and failure teaches you more than if they just gave themselves a perfect run every single time for months and months and was like, wow, you're perfect, you're never getting anything wrong, we're not pushing you, okay, go on the field, and then something happens that they're not used to, and then they completely shit themselves. It should be true for your own mind and your own decision making as well. Meteorologists never predict every lightning strike. They can model, they can predict, they can create simulations, they can create computer models that predict this, but the uncertainty is unavoidable and always there. But they act anyway. That's the permission to move forward without uncertainty. So if you are dealing with analysis paralysis, it would be wise to write down a worst case scenario that can happen if you choose a decision you've been avoiding. So for example, this podcast. If I wanted to do it, which I am, but I was dealing with analysis paralysis before, if I was avoiding creating a podcast or creating videos on YouTube again, I would take a notebook and write down the worst possible case scenario that will happen if I did start my YouTube channel again and start posting again. And then when I wrote it, I would look at it and be like, wait, realistically, can I survive that if that happens? Can I adapt if that happens? Is it really the worst case scenario if this happens? Will my life end in a way because this result happens? Most of the case, you can survive realistically, and that is your fail-safe forecast. The next thing I want you guys to do is believe you can change. This is the piece that makes the whole difference in your analysis paralysis. You have to believe that you can adapt to any situation that comes your way. Carol Dweck's research on growth mindset shows that people who believe abilities can evolve are more likely to take risks, recover from these risks or mistakes, and then ultimately succeed. If you look at successful people in life in general, CEOs, business owners, or just people that you admire, did they get to that spot because they sat down one day and were contemplating their life and contemplating decisions and stuck in analysis paralysis? Probably not. They probably took action regardless of the worst case scenario, which they knew that they could fail, but they gave themselves the permission to. They said, if I take this route and I fail, I'm probably going to find something else I can do. There's probably going to be something else I can change and adapt and still get to the end goal that I really want. So your life is like a weather front. The warm fronts, cold fronts, storms, and clear skies. And they all move and shift every day. And just because one day feels stormy doesn't mean your climate is fixed. You can adjust, reroute, recover. The atmosphere of your life is very much dynamic. Analysis paralysis isn't just about indecision. It's about identity. You have to trust that no matter what you choose, you'll grow into it and you'll make it work. You have to have trust and faith in yourself. And I know that's easier said than done because, oh my gosh, there are times where I don't trust one little thing of my brain. But you have to take that step to get out of analysis paralysis. You have to acknowledge that, hey, I actually might have it in me. I actually might be able to get through the worst case scenario. I can actually change. I won't be the same person this whole time. I won't be the same person for years and years and years. I will change. I will adapt. It is life. So you just have to believe you can change. Believe you can get out of analysis paralysis. Third, you have to realize that there is no such thing as perfection. And I feel like I can write a whole another podcast about perfection because, oh my gosh, I am a recovering perfectionist. But perfection doesn't exist. I hate to break it to you guys, perfection doesn't exist. It's a fat reality check, but it is true. A lot of analysis paralysis comes from chasing the perfect option, but the science is clear. Perfect does not exist. There's a psychologist called Barry Schwartz. I think I'm saying the last name right. They call this the paradox of choice. The more we try to optimize every single little decision, the less satisfied we are in the end. So I want you to pause for a second. What is one area in your life that you are overthinking? Your career, relationships, fitness, I don't know, eating out, eating in, doing this, doing that. Think about it. You have to realize that there is no perfect option for that situation. You know, if you're sitting there and wondering what career to go into, you kind of have to take a step back and be like, okay, well, hey, there is no one perfect career for me. I know a lot of people say that there's like a life pathed out for them, but a life is like a tree. There are so many twigs and branches that you can end up and fall onto that you actually never really know what you're going to do. I can say, hey, I'm going to be a meteorologist. But in reality, in 5-10 years, I might not like that anymore and might do something else. There are no perfect decisions to make. There are no perfect options. And you have to believe that, like I said in option 1 and 2, you have to give yourself permission to fail and you have to believe you can change. Let's learn how to break out of the fog. So what is the actionable forecast for analysis paralysis? Well, let's hit into the short list. 1, focus on the next step, not the entire path. Like I mentioned before, life is like a tree. Life is like those little branches and twigs and sticks and leaves and flowers that all sprout from that one little seedling that grows. You have to focus on the next step, not the entire path. Think of it as like a 1-day forecast, not a month forecast. I don't know about you guys, but when I go on holidays and I'm going, say, in a month's time, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I really want to know the weather. I really want to know if it's really good weather when I go there. And I go on the month forecast and it's like, yeah, it's going to be sunny and like 29 every day. It's going to be good. It's going to be, oh, perfect. And then reality hits. I actually look at the weather forecast like 2 days before I'm going on the plane, and the weather is 22 and raining and then storming the rest of the week. And my whole plans go out the window. That is the reality of analysis paralysis. You have to focus on the next step, not on the long-term forecast. The long-term forecast can change. There's so much uncertainty with a long-term forecast, so much uncertainty with looking at the entire path rather than one simple small decision. Simplify your decisions. Simplify your decisions by preempting them. So on Sundays, when I make my meal plan, I don't spend hours sitting down being like, okay, I need to scour for Pinterest. I need to scour for my recipe book and pick which recipe I'm going to make this week. I go in the shops and I know my 3 meals on rotation for breakfast: overnight oats, yogurt bowl, and chia pudding. All of those need yogurt, so my decision is done. I need to buy yogurt every time I go to the shops. There's no joke about it. And if I buy yogurt and I don't end up using it, well, I can use it for snack. I can make like a yummy sweet treat with it. There are so many possibilities that no matter what I do, if I get it, I will use it. It's not going to go to waste. I know that is a very simple decision and like, wow, I've like preempted my meal plan. I've preempted what I like to eat so hard, but it is good in a way because I got out of a possible analysis paralysis. I could be sitting at home still looking through that cookbook being like, what do I have for breakfast? Or this is a bit too much, or this won't taste good, or I don't know about this. Like, you just go and do it. Just go and do it. get to that point and be like, okay, well, I need to make a fast, quick decision, kind of forcing yourself to simplify that decision, and you just make it. Just simplify your decisions. Number 3, you have to simulate failure safely. Like I mentioned before, lots of jobs do simulations before you head into the real scheme of the job, and how they teach you is by putting you through failure first, putting you through situations that actually probably won't happen, but it's good that you fail. It's good that you learn what to do if something fails. So if it does happen, that small 1% chance that it does when you're actually on field, you kind of know what to do. You kind of know exactly what is wrong and what is right. So imagine the worst outcome and then plan a simple response. This is not like sitting down and writing pros and cons and contributing to analysis paralysis. This is simply like a very quick mind thought. So say that you're sitting there with your partner, like I mentioned before, and you're contemplating eating out or eating in and cooking. And you're sitting there and you don't know, and you keep going back and forth. Oh, but this will save money. This is going to take a long time, rah, rah, rah. And then, if you keep doing that, you're going to end up not picking a place. And then, oh my gosh, if you want to go out and eat, oh, what do I want? What cuisine do I want? Italian, sushi. Oh my gosh, the options are endless. And, as a girl, I never know what I want to eat. Don't take this boyfriend as me saying I always know where I want to eat. I don't. And I'm sure lots of people understand. And no, I'm sure the girlies know that you don't know where you want to eat. But imagine the worst case scenario in that situation. Just briefly, be like, maybe to your partner or to yourself, hey, if we went out, what's the worst case scenario? Oh, we spend $10. Is that really bad? Nah, let's go. See? Easy done. Or you can forecast a response. So now I can sit there and be like to my partner, hey, if we ever are contemplating eating in or out, let's simplify our decision and let's always eat out. Done. Don't even think twice. Or let's always eat out if we have more than a certain amount of money in our bank account combined. Done. You've simplified your response and you've simulated failure safely. That combination is like chef's kiss to beating analysis paralysis. Number 4, anchor yourself. So you have one micro action or ritual to stabilize you, even if the rest feels uncertain. If you want to know a little bit more about anchoring yourself, listen back to podcast number 2, which should be out because obviously this is number 3. That I talked about anchoring yourself, as in finding an anchor in your life, a daily ritual that makes you excited about every day, makes you have joy, feel happiness. This really links with analysis paralysis because if you give yourself that joy, that one simple thing that you don't have to make a decision about. I said in that episode, my non-negotiable is having iced matcha or iced coffee every day. I don't have analysis paralysis over that because I know exactly where I'm going. I know exactly what I'm doing. I know I'm waking up in the morning and I'm having a coffee or a matcha. And yeah, I have to make that decision between both of them. And oh my gosh, it's really hard for me to choose. But it's a non-negotiable. It's a ritual. I'm going to have it. I don't care where or how I'm going to have it. Will I have to spend money on it because I don't have it at home? Oh well, I made it my ritual. It gives me happiness. It anchors me in my life. I'm going to have it. That is one way to defeat analysis paralysis, is by knowing exactly what you're going to do and making it a non-negotiable because it makes you happy and it's good. And number 5, you have to trust your adaptability. Life forecasts can always change. So you have to embrace that flexibility. You have to embrace that your 3-month, 4-month, 5-month, 2-year forecast can change. I, for one, can say that I am not in the spot I thought I would be this time last year. Surprise, Emily of 2023. Oh my gosh, 2024. Oh my gosh, it's 2025. Sorry, completely just shocked myself there. But surprise, Emily of 2024 and 2023. You are not where you thought you were. You are not anywhere really near where you thought you were. Your life plan is currently over 12 months behind. That's reality. Life's forecast can always change. You can't predict it. Like I said, you can't predict the future. If you have been waiting for the perfect plan, here's the damn truth. It doesn't exist. Life is dynamic. Life cannot be forecasted precisely. Every forecast has the uncertainty. Every meteorologist guesses in some way. Storms happen. Sometimes the sky is clear. Sometimes it's very cloudy. Sometimes there's gusts of wind. Sometimes, God forbid, severe natural disaster happens and knocks you completely off your pedestal. Forecasters change constantly. Your 20s are full of uncertainty, and yes, that doesn't mean that you are stuck. You have to step forward, make mistakes, adjust, embrace them, learn from them, and trust your ability to navigate through the storm. Let's go back to the metaphor about the fog. So you are currently sitting in that car and it's really, really foggy. Are you going to make the decision to just slow down a little bit and get to that destination a little bit later than you should have, but you're still going to get there? Or are you going to pull over and sit there waiting? And you never know how long you might be waiting, because fog can last for ages. You don't know when the fog is going to leave. What is your decision? You have to realize that you just have to make a decision. Do you want to be that person that is sitting on the side of the road while all these people drive past, even if they're driving slowly? Or do you want to be that person that is driving slowly with them and getting to that destination, however late that may be? So before we finish, let's have a think about one thing you can take this week to keep moving forward. What is that thing you have been thinking about doing but not been doing because you are stuck in analysis paralysis? What is one little micro action that you can make, one ritual that you can make with you or your partner to be able to overcome analysis paralysis? If your analysis paralysis is often where to eat, create like a roulette on your phone. Press a button. If you don't know what movie to watch, I do this thing with my partner because we are both analysis paralysis people, is where we close our eyes and the other person closes their eyes and they're moving around on the remote. The other person goes, stop, and they stop and they press that button. Netflix will give examples of what movie to watch. And then we just have to pick out of those, I think it's 16 movies that it recommends that has that letter in it. And we look at those 16 and we go, okay, well, at least we've shortened our decision to 16 and we're going to choose one thing. And we have to. We can't back out of it. And you choose it. That is a little ritual we've added into our life to focus on the next step, not focus on the entire path. To make decisions so much more simpler and simplify it so we are able to actually take action and keep moving forward. Otherwise, we'll be sitting there for hours trying to pick a movie and then realize it's like 11 p.m. at night. What's the point? We haven't even eaten our popcorn yet. Great. Well, what are we going to do? Let's just go shower and go to bed. And then you actually haven't had your fun night that you planned and were excited for the whole week. Simplify that decision that you are struggling with. Try and find something you can simplify that you realize you experience analysis paralysis quite regularly on, and implement that and see how you go. Imagine the fog lifting up every time you take that step forward. Every time you move a little bit slower in that car to your destination, you're getting one step closer. I really hope this episode helped a bit of you guys, if not all of you guys. If you struggle with analysis paralysis, I understand. I still do, even though I'm proclaiming all these stuff that you can do to get out of it. It is something I still struggle with, but there are ways that, I try and get out of it. And again, I just want to reiterate it. It is give yourself permission to fail, believe you can change, understand no decision is perfect, focus on the next step, not the entire path, understand that forecasts can change, and create micro actions or micro decisions that are already implemented to simplify your decisions. Those are all the things I recommend, and I'm so excited if you guys will take this advice and take it with you and implement them into your life to help you get out of analysis paralysis. I hope you guys are able to lift the fog off your lives and jump in that car and keep moving and not pull over on the side of the road. So thank you so much for listening to Forecasting Wellness. Share this episode with a friend who's maybe experiencing analysis paralysis. Share this with a family member who's experiencing analysis paralysis, or just share it around, because I know analysis paralysis is something that a lot of people struggle with and don't actually know how to get out of that paralysis mode. And remember, guys, the forecast can change. So you can predict it, but that's what it is, a prediction. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye!